Hello folks, this is Solo once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this video, we're going to be looking at a Sentinels comp. This is going to be the first time that I do a Sentinels 6 comp here in in set 5.5. And in particular, we're going to look at an innovation that I saw some people trying on the here in set 5.5, which was to make use of a Warmogs item on your principal carry in a Sentinels team comp. So this is kind of an unusual interaction. This is why I've grabbed the Giant's Belt off of the initial carousel, is I want to turn this into a Warmogs, and Warmogs is a particularly useful item here in set 5.5. It's a great item if you're going to be building a strong tank line, because a whole bunch of the Radiant tank items have a secondary ability where they heal for a percentage of your max health every second. Like a bunch of the tank items give you back like 1% of your max HP per second or 2% of your max HP per second. So if you have a Warmogs on your tank, then you're going to be healing back more health per second as a result. So in any case, though, you also have this unusual interaction with Sentinel and Warmogs, which is what I'm going to be going for here. I actually thought I might play Draconic in this game, but then because I got the early Zyra, but then I ultimately decided to cancel out of that. So how does this work with Sentinel? Well, Sentinel, this is kind of the big new trait in set 5.5. Sentinel provides a shield on the unit that has the highest health at the start of combat. And every time that shield goes on, it applies additional attack speed. And that attack speed stays even if the shield goes away. I'll go ahead and read the official trait description while we're here on the minion rounds at the start of the game. At the start of combat, the Sentinel with the highest health gains a shield that grants attack speed each time it's applied. When the shield is destroyed or expires, it passes to the ally with lowest percentage health. And it starts at only a 200 shield that gives 30% attack speed. And then at Sentinel 6, it goes to a 1,000 health shield that goes 120% attack speed, 2-second duration. But the key thing is, it's the Sentinel with the highest health gets the attack speed, gets the shield, and gets the attack speed bonus at the start of the game. So again, it's whoever has the highest health will get that shield to start. So what people realized you could do is you could take your carry and then actually put Warmogs on them, and then they would get the Sentinel shield at the start of combat. So in other words, if you build a Warmogs and you put it on, say, Lucian, who's a Sentinel, or late in the game, Action, who's also a Sentinel, they will start the game with the shield, and then they'll get that huge attack speed bonus. Yeah, there's the, what is it, 100? Actually, it says 120% attack speed. The stat I was looking at said 100%, but 120% attack speed bonus at Sentinel 6. Now, I don't even have Sentinel in right now. I have 3 Skirmisher in the comp right now because I haven't been able to find a 3rd Sentinel just yet. And the way that this typically runs in the early game is you put the initial carry items on Aurelia with the intention of transferring them over to most likely Lucian, but also potentially Action later on. And this is kind of a sad battle because I got like the whole enemy team down to almost nothing, but didn't actually kill any of them. So for the moment, I'm kind of still stuck here with 3 Skirmishers. Now, Skirmishers and Sentinels are kind of a obvious pairing to match together here at the start of the game, just because there's 2 different units that have Skirmisher and Sentinel. Olaf is both a Skirmisher and a Sentinel, and then Aurelia is also both a Skirmisher and a Sentinel, so it's kind of a natural pairing. So I'm looking to play 3 Skirmishers, 3 Sentinels here in the early game. And then what I really want to do is put these items on Aurelia. Like I'm trying to have items that'll be good on Lucian later on, but Aurelia will be my item holder for the early game, and that's kind of what I'm going for here. Put a Warmogs and then this Deathblade on Aurelia, and then let her carry me all through the early game. And then I will transfer those items over to Lucian later on, and I'll play 3 Skirmishers, 3 Sentinels here in the early game. If you're wondering why I put the Deathblade on Kennen, it's because the intention is for Kennen to be sold. As soon as I get Aurelia, I'll sell the Kennen. I won't need him anymore after that, and transfer them over. I guess I could also put them on Olaf, but I was kind of like, well, I'm not going to be looking to sell Olaf. Like I'm going to want to have Olaf in the comp, so I don't want to sell him just yet. And so I also, well, there we go. And then I see that there's Nidalee in the store, and I decide, you know what, I'm going to put these items on Nidalee because Deathblade on Nidalee is a lot better than Deathblade on Kennen. So that's why I go ahead and make that change. Even though it's a little pricey to do, I'm hoping I can win this round so that I will then be able to pre-level to level 5. going to this carousel. So a little bit wonky. I really just need to find Aurelia, and then I can have Sentinel in. I don't currently have Sentinel in, which is a little weird because I haven't been able to find an Aurelia or a Pike, I suppose. Pike could also get me Sentinel, but it's Aurelia who I want because that'll get me Skirmisher, Sentinel, and like I said, the intention is kind of that Aurelia holds these items until you can find Lucian later on. But I'm hoping that just having 3 skirmishers in with an early Nidalee who has a Deathblade will be enough to carry me through these early rounds. And this fight's kind of close, but looks like we've got it. So I'll go ahead and pre-level up to level 5. Well, we'll hit level 5 after the carousel, and then I'll get my choice of items here. I am hoping that I can get a Giant's Belt because that will allow me to build Warmogs. That's the other item I'm looking for here. I have second pick off the carousel, so losing that first round wasn't that bad since it lets me get early carousel priority here, and it turns out I'm going to be able to get that Trist. So I've already got 2 of the 3 items I want for my carry for a Lucian later on, or an action if I can get it, but more likely I'm probably going to find Lucian. Warmogs plus Deathblade, good items on Lucian. Then I would want some kind of item, either preferably I would get a Hand of Justice for his last item, which seems to be very good on him since it allows him to heal off his spellcast. I actually could make Trist 2-star here, but I want to get that belt off Trist. So for the time being, I'm playing Skirmisher plus Cannoneer, and I'm going to toss that Warmogs onto Udyr. He is just holding items. I'm also going to pick up Kennen because, again, what I'd like to do is find Aurelia, sell the Nidalee, sell the Udyr, play Aurelia, put these 2 items on Aurelia, and then toss in the Kennen because that would keep Skirmishers in play with Aurelia, and would also make Hellion trade for Trist. So I really just need to find one Aurelia. It's a little funny I haven't found one yet. So here I'm up against someone who's playing like some kind of an assassin-based team, and unfortunately my whole team decides that they're going to attack the super tanky Gragas and the Nunu. So the assassins just kill everybody as we continue shooting at the tank, and I was like, oh boy, that is not the way I wanted that fight to go. That is a bad loss. Oof. Little rough right there. So fight RNG not the greatest, positioning not the greatest. All my carries just get killed instantly as I shoot helplessly at the tanks, and that was not a good fight. Not a good fight, unfortunately. So I'm kind of stuck here with a series of pairs. I've got 2 Udyrs, I've got 2 Olafs, I've got 2 Tristanas, and I still don't even have the Sentinel trait in, which is what this is all supposed to be about. Like, the whole point of getting this early Warmogs and pairing it with the Deathblade is so that I can get the Sentinel shield onto my carry. But I still don't even have the Sentinel trait. I don't think Pike has popped up even one time in the shop. Like, no Aurelias, no Pikes thus far, if I'm remembering my shops correctly. So it looked great. Like, I got all these Sennas early on, and I also picked up Olafs early on, but like after the minion rounds, I have not found any of the pieces of this comp. It's a little bit sad the way that that's worked out, but oh well. At least my items are pretty good. At least I've gotten the items I want, even if economy is not especially great. And I've been not really finding these Sentinels after the minion round, so all through stage 2, didn't really find them. There's another Kennen. I mean, I guess this would be great if I was playing Hellions, because there's 3 Hellions in the shop, but it's kind of like, man, could I maybe find some Sentinels in my Sentinel game that I'm trying to play here? Little bit unlucky. Also, where's Aurelia? She's a 2-cost unit. It's not like it's that hard to find her. You'd think I'd find 1 Aurelia or 1 Pike by the time stage 2 was done, but apparently not. So I wouldn't say it was a super successful stage 2 overall. I won 3 out of 5 rounds, but the 2 losses were bad losses, and that kept me from getting any kind of a win streak going, so economy's not especially great. I get a Tear and a Rod here. The Rod I don't have especially great use for. The Tear could be half of a Hand of Justice, though, so that's not bad to find. Now I'm hoping I can find a Brawler's Glove to pair with that, and then I'll have all my carry items. All right, so we're going to get the Olaf, and then we're going to find Rakan here. So I was like, all right, well, Rakan will allow me to play Sentinel. So let's hold that for right now. And I toss the Tear on Nidalee because Nidalee's going to get sold, and it just will allow her to cast slightly sooner. So I would like to go to level 6. That would allow me to get Sentinel in with that Rakan, but I don't quite want to pay 16 gold and go all the way down to, what is it, 11 gold? That feels like it would be a little too much. So because I wasn't able to get better economy through stage number 3, it means I can't go early to 6. Like this person's gone early to stage 6. I was like, wait a minute, this person's already level 6 and they have a Vel'Koz in the game already? That's not especially good. So I was like, that's not great that they already have Vel'Koz in there, and Vel'Koz just murders my whole team. So I was like, oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. I don't think that Razed Blade's a very good item on Vel'Koz, but just having a Vel'Koz in to pair with all those two-star tank champs up front means I take another loss, and I have not really been able to get out into a particularly good streak in terms of wins or losses thus far. So yeah, not feeling great thus far. So kind of hoping that this will work better. So let's go ahead, go to 6, toss in Rakan, start rolling, and then I find the early Lucian. I was like, okay, so I never found Aurelia, I just found Lucian instead. Okay, I mean, I guess that's something that could happen. So let's start transferring these items over. So we'll take that out, drop both of these units. Now I actually don't have skirmishers in. I have 4 Sentinel, 3 Cannoneers, which is kind of awkward. So I need to drop something to get skirmishers back in. I'm looking on here, and I was like, I guess I take out Rakan. So my board's a little bit wonky. I need to reposition my units, but this looks pretty decent. 3 Cannoneer. Okay, 3 Cannoneer's a little awkward, but 3 Cannoneer, 3 Skirmisher, 3 Sentinel, 2 Hellion. And with the early Lucian, that should be pretty nice. So I don't think I need to roll anymore since I found Lucian at 5% odds. So a mixture of good and bad RNG here. I can't find Aurelia at all, but then I find Lucian immediately at level 6. So, I mean, I guess that balances out. Just kind of weird, but okay. So since Lucian has the highest health on my team, that means he will always get the Sentinel shield to start at the beginning of combat. So he'll get that extra attack speed, and that'll remain permanent. And that's why he doesn't need an attack speed item. He can go all damage items because he's going to get that Sentinel attack speed at the beginning of combat in each round. So that's kind of the theory behind this build. As I said, it's a creative build. We'll see if this ever gets nerfed or something. And it really spikes at Sentinel 6. Like Sentinel 3, the 30% attack speed is like whatever. That doesn't really do a whole lot. But 120% attack speed that you get for the whole fight, I mean, it's like who needs a Rage Blade if you can just start the fight with 120% attack speed? So that's why I'm looking to get the Deathblade and the Warmogs, and then hopefully Hand of Justice for the third item. I don't need an attack speed item on Lucian. So the rest of my board's honestly pretty weak. It's all 1-stars, except Olaf, I guess, and I don't really have items on any of these. Lucian's getting stunned repeatedly, but Lucian with these kind of items is going to carry pretty hard for this stage of the game, even a 1-star Lucian. So feeling pretty good about this. So he's just going to keep killing everything, and then we just need to deal with this Aurelia, who, again, with her ult running, takes like no damage at all. I was like, what the heck? She just tanked a whole culling and didn't even take any damage. But yeah, Aurelia gets like some preposterous damage reduction when her ult is running. It's like, I think 80% damage reduction or something when she's 2-starred and 90% when she's 3-starred. I don't know. That might feel like it needs to get toned down later on. All right, so it's a carousel. I get third priority here. I would really like that Brawler's Glove, but I don't think I'm going to get it because it's on Aphelios. So I was like, why couldn't you have been on the Vlad? Because no one was going to take the Vlad, but Aphelios someone's going to take. And so at this point I was thinking, I was like, why don't we try to make use of that needlessly large rod? I don't have a great use for the rod in this comp. I was like, why don't I just grab the Chain Vest and we'll make a Locket, and that'll help preserve some health here in the mid game. This comp will get stronger in the late game, so I'm just going to try to preserve health right now by making that Locket. And so, by the way, I also hit 6 Sennas. I was like, okay, well, Senna's going to stay in this comp, so I might as well just see if I can 3-star her. I'm not going to go out of my way to do it because she's not a key unit, but she's definitely going to stay in there because she's, what is it? She's Cannoneer plus Sentinel, which is the same as Lucian, so she's definitely going to stay in the comp. And at this point, I'm just going to try to, again, get good use out of this Locket. I'll just slap it on Olaf for the time being and see if I can, like I said, get value out of that Locket, get that extra health shield at the start of combat. It's not much, but it's better than nothing, and I really did not have another use for that rod, so I'll go for it. This is kind of a bit of a frail team composition because I don't have the tanky Sentinels in yet. I don't have Galio and I don't have Rakan, who are kind of your tank Sentinels. So without them in there, I really do get good value from the Locket since, as I said, kind of have a frail team composition. And all right, here's our key round. We're going to get the Radiant item in the Radiant Armory. I'm kind of hoping for some kind of utility item because I kind of have my carry already itemized or close to itemized. Probably should not have committed that tier just because I probably should have waited to see if I could get a Radiant item for the last slot. And it turns out the items I get aren't especially great. I can't take the Warmogs because then I would not get the Sentinel Shield. I can't take... Blue's not going to be helpful. Jewel Gauntlet's not going to be helpful. Maybe the Morellos, but I don't know. Kennan's not really that key to this comp. He's probably going to get dropped later. So ultimately, I figured the Radiant Zeeks is probably the best item that I can make use of here. So, like the normal Zeeks, it grants additional attack speed to the user and the people standing on either side of them. And it also grants a small amount of lifesteal to them. I will pull up the actual stats for the item here just to see what the Radiant version of it does. It grants, let's see, the holder and allies within one hex in the same row gain 50% attack speed and 10% lifesteal for the rest of combat. Now, again, this is not the item I wanted, though, because as I said, Lucian doesn't really need attack speed. He's going to get it from the Sentinel shield. The lifesteal is a little bit more useful, but he really doesn't need attack speed. So this is not the item that I want by any means, and it's one of the weaknesses of the armory, the Radiant Armory here in this game, is you don't get to pick what you choose, and sometimes you just get items that aren't very good. Like I would have had so much more use for a lot of other items that could have come out. Some of the utility items like a Radiant Shroud or a Radiant Trap Claw would have been amazing items for me to pick up. Something that had more team utility, or something that if I hadn't somewhat foolishly committed that tier on Lucian, an item that would have been good, like if I could have gotten Radiant Infinity Edge or Radiant Last Whisper or Radiant Hand of Justice, like those items would be great, but I can't really make use of Blue Buff. I can't really make use of the Jeweled Gauntlet, not with this team comp. I couldn't use the Warmog because I already had a Warmogs on Lucian, and then getting another Warmogs would mean he doesn't get the Sentinel Shield to start combat. So you see what I mean? Like you can just sometimes get an armory that doesn't hit you, and then it just kind of feels bad. Like, okay, yes, I can get some use out of this item. By the way, I finally find Aurelia, so hooray for that. So I finally find that unit, and now I toss in the Rakan, and I have a decision here. Do I want to roll here on level 7, or do I want to try to fast 8 and then roll on 8? And ultimately, I decided, I think with the Lucian having good items, I think I can try to fast 8 here. And we'll see how that goes, whether I should have rolled here. I do have a good number of 2-stars on my board. I've 2-starred, let's see, I've 2-starred the Senna, the Kennen, the Olaf, and the Trist. And I'm trying to see if I can do anything with these items. It's a little bit unclear what I could do. I didn't get a Brawler's Glove there, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now I'm really hoping I can get a Brawler's Glove from the upcoming Stage 4 carousel. So we just need to finish off that unit. Can't recall which unit was actually carrying the items there. So we win this round pretty easily, and I was like, all right, I'm probably okay to fast 8 here. I seem to be one of the stronger comps, so I don't think I necessarily have to roll, and I'm just going to try to make my way through the next few rounds, get up to level 8 with enough gold to roll, and then fill out the rest of my comp there. But I do think that maybe this was a mistake. I think I should have tried to get 6 Sentinels in play here, because 6 Sentinels is a very, very big spike for this comp. And I have an extra Cannoneer. And here we go. Another armory that just doesn't really hit me. The BF Sword and the Negatron Cloak. I don't really have a great need for either of these items. So I think I'd go ahead and take the Negatron Cloak. I don't know if that was the best decision. I could have instead looked to start itemizing a secondary carry. Like I could have looked to start itemizing another Cannoneer for potential action later on. And I don't know if that was the best decision. Like I could have built like a Bloodthirster or even a Giant Slayer and look to keep itemizing from there. So I don't know if it was a good decision to take the cloak, especially because I already had a cloak. Probably would take the BF Sword if I were to do this again, and look to make either Giant Slayer or make Bloodthirster, and just have Trist hold items, hopefully for future action over there. I also should probably pick up this Trist in case I need to replace Trist later on. So anyway, I dropped the Rakan and tried to pick up Misfortune for 4 Cannoneers because I think that is better than having 5 Sentinels, which doesn't really do anything. Unfortunately, in this fight, I'm hitting the Nunu, and he just, tanks the entire fight. Also, that person seems to have a 2-star Aphelios already, which is a little bit scary. But basically, Lucian spent the whole fight shooting at Nunu and was not able to kill him. And then I think the Dragon's Claw just did reflected damage that killed Lucian. So that fight didn't go very well, and I take a lot of damage, which is kind of unfortunate. All right, so we're going to just, again, continue trying to econ up to level 8. Again, the comp that I'm trying to run is I would like to get 6 Sentinels, at least 2 Cannoneers, 4 Cannoneers maybe, but definitely 6 Sentinels. And just because that 6 Sentinel shield provides so much attack speed, 120% attack speed. Attack speed, again, not too critical on Lucian as a stat, but the Deathblade will give him more damage. And then if I can get Hand of Justice for his last item, he'll have not just more damage, he'll also have healing on his ultimate as well. All right, so let's see. We're up against this. It looks like an Abomination plus Revenant comp, and Lucian is shooting at Yasuo, which is great, but he doesn't do enough damage to kill Yasuo, who just gets the Nightbringer shield triggered. And what happened to my team? Oh, they're all dead. So whoops, that was not especially great, and I take another bad loss. And now I'm really thinking like, oh man, maybe I should have rolled on level. Maybe I should have rolled here on level 7 because I just took 25 damage, I think 28 damage, something like that, the last 2 rounds, and that's not good. The only thing that's good is it does give me second priority on this carousel, so I can get this Brawler's Glove. Looks like I'm safe to get it off the Draven. Thank you very much. So that's a good thing. It's almost bad in a way I didn't take like 1 or 2 more damage because that would have unlocked the radiant drop that comes when you hit 40 HP. I'm at 41 HP, which is slightly annoying. So as I said, it probably would have been better if I had taken like 1 more damage. Not that you can control that or anything. All right, anyway, so I do have Lucian fully itemized. I'm happy with that. And now I decide let's just go ahead and go to level 8. I really just need a Sentinel or that I can toss in here. So I find Galio, and then I'm going to look to play the 6 Sentinels. I reasoned that I had lost enough health, had to go to level 9 right here. So what am I going to up to drop? I look to drop the Misfortune. Also, alternately, I could look to drop the Skirmisher, and in fact, that might probably be the better trait. Drop Cannon, keep MF in. We'd lose Skirmishers, but we'd keep 4 Cannoneers, and that's probably better, honestly. Like, it's not like Hellion and Skirmisher are doing that a whole lot right now. Right now, the Skirmishers are pretty much just trait bots, and in this fight, I was like, oh, that's not good. I get popped by a Diana that just absolutely wrecks my team. I was like, oh no, oh no. That's another bad loss. And at this point, I look like I'm heading out of this game very quickly. But that was mostly just positioning. The Diana got in my back lines, threw Lucian into the middle of the team, and as soon as he dies, that's about it. So, well, I mean, at least I get the Radiant item. So I'm going to get this, and it's an Emblem Tome. And the emblems I get are bad. Legionnaire, Ranger, Forgotten Draconic. I'm like, I guess I take Ranger out of this. So this is honestly quite bad for me. Now, finding the action is fantastic. But the actual items are really not that good here, at least the ones that were in the emblem. This is bad news for me because everyone is now going to get that emblem tome when they drop underneath 40 health. They're all going to get an emblem tome. And the ones that I got were just not helpful for me. Like, I really would have wanted Sentinel or Cannoneer or Skirmisher would all have been useful. But, like, what did I get? I got Ranger because I had just bought action in the shop. And by the way, don't buy stuff in the shop before you use the Radiant Tome or whatever it is, because it increases the number of emblems you can get. It's not just stuff you're playing, it's also stuff that's on your bench that you can get. So Ranger was the best I could get. The other ones were Draconic because I had Galio. It's like, great, thanks. Legionnaire because I have Aurelia in. Like, okay, that's totally useless. And what was the last one that I had? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was Forgotten because I had Misfortune on my bench. So, okay, all that stuff was useless. Really unlucky on the emblem drops. Like, it would have been far more useful if I'd gotten a not a Sentinel, excuse me. That would have been far, far more useful if I had gotten Sentinel. Or if I had gotten Cannoneer, maybe I could look to play like 4 Cannoneer, or maybe even 6 Cannoneer if I could get a second one. But this is one of the things that I don't really like about set 5.5. There's so much power in the emblems, and what emblems you get is basically random because most of them you can't even make with spatulas. I mean, there's like a handful you can still make with spatulas, but most of them you can't. So a lot is just dependent on what stuff you just get due to pure RNG. So yes, I got the Ranger emblem, which I guess is something, but I could have gotten a much better emblem, and some of the other teams you're going to see are going to get much, much more useful emblems. All right, so then I get this one leftover bow, and I'm going to toss it on action, but that's probably a mistake. I should probably leave that slot open. Then I get a second action. I'm like, oh, this is great. Can I get action 2-star? That would be amazing. So I'm going to roll all the way down to 0 gold here because I have a whole bunch of pairs, and I'm really looking to make some of these pairs. But ultimately, I'm not going to hit any more, so a little bit unfortunate. I mean, I can't really expect to hit action 2-star because I'm only level 8 and not level 9. But it would have been nice to hit the Galio or the Aurelia or something like that. But this is a pretty good board, so this is kind of what I'm looking to play into. 6 Sentinel, 3 Skirmisher, 2 Knight, then the random 2 Rangers, which again, I don't really need because I get attack speed from that Sentinel shield. And then 2 Cannoneer. Now, this team comp is very unfortunate. This is a 6 Knights team comp, and the problem with a 6 Knights team comp is Lucian's ult does not do very well with the flat damage reduction from 6 Knights. So I don't really have any way to kill this Leona. It's actually a pretty poorly put together team comp that this person's running, but I just don't have a way to kill this Leona because every Lucian ult tick just has like all of its damage blocked. So I take another loss. And I was like, geez, I feel like my comp's pretty good here. So here I get another armory, and I don't really have most items. I can't use the Warmogs because I already have a Warmogs. Can't really use the Chalice. The Spatula is not going to do anything for me. I guess I could make a Hellion stat on action. Whoop-de-doo, that's not going to do anything. So I'm going to take the Shroud. And hey, the Shroud is a good late game item. But I should be looking to upgrade my comp from here. Again, finding another action would enormously spike my comp, just because action at 2-star is going to be so much stronger. He's going to have that automatic armor shredding from his innate ability. And again, I feel like my comp is fairly strong here. It's just I'm down on 19 health. I've been losing these rounds. But I've got the Shroud to place. I'm going to look to see if I can hit someone. And the Shroud is pretty nice to get. So I'm going to look to place this on Kennen because he can move around wherever. And we get off a really good Shroud that hits most of the team. So this is an elimination match for this player. If I win this round, then they're just going to be out of the game. And the good news is it looks like we've almost got that action on their team. Yeah, well, it looks like we've got them. I was like, action swinging around, but we just kill everything else on the team. So that's nice. Hey, at least I won't come in 8th place in this game. By the way, you're seeing the weakness of that Knights comp. There was that Knights comp that we just hit went up against someone who was running Yasuo. Well, Yasuo does true damage, so the Knights' abilities are not going to be very helpful against that. And that team just gets shredded to pieces. All right, so again, I'm rolling, and I don't really find anything right there. So that's a bit unfortunate. One of the things that I need to look to do in the late game is I probably should be looking to move out of the skirmishers long term. Like, the skirmishers are good for early and mid game, but they're actually not that great late game. Like, there are better Sentinels that I can look to play here than, say, a 1-star Olaf and a 1-star Aurelia. Probably can find better stuff there. And Kennen in particular is doing very little. Now, this is a round where I just whiff on the Shroud. It not going to hit anything, so whoops. I was going for another team comp. So what we need to do is we need to try to get on the Aphelios. Action gets in the back line, so he's going to, let's see. Yeah, he's just shooting at the Aphelios, which is really nice. But do we have enough damage to finish this guy off? Can Kennen get his stun off? Nope, it's just Lucian and Aphelios shooting at each other, and woo, close fight, but Lucian clutches it out as he does not ultimately die to the Aphelios. That comp felt pretty strong, so I was not confident that we would take that down. All right, I have first pick on the carousel, and there's an action. Great, I'm going to go grab that action, except the other player takes it. I was like, what? Seriously? Well, yes, apparently yes. So that's going to get taken. Very, very sad. Like, if that unit just spawns on the other side of the carousel, then I am able to get the action for myself and get 2-star action. So I have to content myself. I'll take the Teemo just because I want to deny it to other teams. It's 5 gold, and he's got a useful item in Giant Slayer, so we'll toss that on action. But now I have foolishly placed the bow on action. So with him having the bow, now he doesn't have another item slot open. And here I decide that, hey, there's a Senna. I don't want to lock to get that Senna, but I will go ahead and lock in order to get this Garen. Although if I win the round, I can just purchase Garen. I did have a Lucian there, but I decided that I would sell the Lucian to free up another gold, a little bit more gold. The odds of hitting Lucian 3-star are pretty low, and there's a lot of pairs I'm still trying to hit. I have a pair of Garens, a pair of Gallios, a pair of Actions, and a pair of Aurelias. So it feels like it makes more sense to free up gold to keep rolling for them. This round, we basically win because of the Shroud. We are able to Shroud that Soraka. I don't think she ever gets a cast off, and we just decimate this team. And that's going to get me 2-star Garen, which is great. Garen is not as key for this team comp because I don't really deal magic damage, or not very much magic damage, so his MR Shred is not as useful. But Lucian's ult is 50% physical, 50% magic, so having some having some MR Shred is actually useful to have on the Garen. All right, so I decide I won't roll for this round. I'll hold for another round and wait until after the minion round. And now I've actually started winning some of these rounds. By the way, I'm scouting, and I see that there is that Diana who's poised to hit my comp. And I was like, ooh, glad I was scouting. I think I need to reposition away from that comp, because if that Diana jumps and hits my backlines, I'm just going to lose the fight immediately. So let's position away from that comp, just in case I would hit it. I don't hit it. I hit this other comp that we've seen a couple times that's running the, looks like it's running Abomination. And so I'm going to get off a good Shroud. Managed to hit that. Actions in the back lines, shredding the armor on the enemy team. Lucian's still alive. And we win this round pretty easily and deal 17 damage to that team. So I was like, oh, okay, starting to feel pretty good here. If I can get the 2-star action, I think I can maybe win this lobby. Meanwhile, we're seeing somebody with the, was it Kale against Soraka there? And yeah, looks like Kale is ultimately going to win that one. So things are going better after a long series of difficult rounds where I went all the way down to what, 19 HP. Now I'm in the top 4 and in pretty good shape. But yeah, that's past me highlighting the bow. Just why did I put that bow? Why did I put the one component there? So again, if you just have the one component, don't put it on one of your key carries, because then that means you can't put a finished item. You just don't get components after the end of stage 4 anymore, so you just can never finish these items. You just get these dead components. But oh, it's an item remover! Haha! Now I can use the item remover and get those items off action and put them back on. I decide to roll here because I'm trying to hit. I decide, let's roll for action 2-star. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to level 9. I should pick up the. I probably should pick up the Rakan here, because I can be looking to replace the Sentinel, or the, excuse me, the Skirmishers with better units. Like I could replace the, I could put Lucian, or not Lucian, I could put Rakan in for Aurelia and Olaf, and then I'd have another free slot that could go for like a Mystic unit or something like that. So again, scouting for the win. I was scouting for this comp that had the Diana, and I'm able to dodge the Diana. If that Diana jumps on my comp, I'm going to lose this fight. But instead, we're able to dodge the Diana. She does not hit my carries. We're able to kill the back lines, and then we're going to be able to narrowly clutch out this fight. I was like, oh boy, that comp definitely looks like the strongest in the lobby right now. So it's another armory yet again, and this time there's a Cannoneer emblem. So I was like, all right, well, let's take the Cannoneer emblem. That'll let me play 4 Cannoneers, which will increase damage by a lot. Now, again, I wish I could put this on action. He would be the absolute perfect person to put that on, but I just used my Quicksilver Sash on him, so now I can't put this on action. Again, a little bit unfortunate. I guess I should have waited one more round just to see if I could hit that. But I'm going to drop the Cannon, and then I'll put in Trist, and that's going to allow me to get 4 Cannoneers in here. And then I pick up these Lucians, because I'm just getting extra Lucians in the store, and I don't really have much else. I'm not going to hit level 9 in this game. So that also frees up the chance to put a Shroud down, so now I can place this on whoever I want. But it looks like, turns out Trist's a good person to put this on anyway, and we get a pretty good Shroud. And I guess Triss can take that leftover bow, I guess, just for additional attack speed. But now I've got 4 Cannoneer in, so that's going to deal more damage. It does proc off of Lucian's ult, which is really nice. But I am, again, regretful I wasn't able to get that on action, because action with Cannoneer Spat is really nice. It will proc on his ultimate. Still, I have 2 out of 3 actions. If I can just find one more, and I do hit 3-star Senna, so okay. That's not going to do a whole lot, but it's better than nothing. And ultimately, I'm still just rolling for the Aurelia and the Lucian. I've actually have found 6 Lucians now, so now I kind of wished I had been saving Lucians. Just kind of randomly hit all these Lucians. But we're also down to just 3 players in the lobby, so now it's less focused on my team because I don't have enough money to roll for better stuff. And now it's more about positioning. So again, the main thing is I need to dodge that Diana. She is the key unit I need to avoid. I'm going to look to reposition to make sure I can dodge it. And did I manage to dodge Diana? Yes, I do, actually. And I get off a great Shroud. Hits everyone on the enemy team except the Yasuo and the Aphelios. But Lucian gets off a great ult. It's going to kill most of the backlines of that team. Action gets in the backline, but then dies. And uh-oh, this is looking scary. But we did manage to kill the Aphelios just before the Diana popped my team. Lucian had a very risky dash forward. And so I'm able to win that round. And we're looking good again. All right, so it's another round where we have a carousel, and there really isn't a whole lot I want on this carousel, for better or for worse. There is another Lucian, which maybe I should grab, but I decide that I'm going to grab the I decided that I'm going to grab the Mystic emblem here. Mystic items are really good, but the problem is I don't really have a way to get Mystic in. I was thinking, is there a way I can get Mystic in this comp? I only need to play one Mystic unit. And unfortunately, there kind of isn't a good way to do that. And by the way, I get another Lucian here. I was like, am I going to hit the Lucian 3-star? Is that like something that's going to be a thing here? But ultimately, I still don't think that's going to happen. So I sell a Lucian to hit Triss 2-star. And at this point, I was really regretting picking up the Mystic emblem. I was like, oh, that could have been something a lot more useful. Just not something that's really going to help me in this fight. So, well. Not the best use of emblems. Like, I'm really getting not a whole lot out of the... I guess the Cannoneer emblem's been great, but the Ranger one is doing almost nothing, and then that Mystic one's not really going to do anything. It's literally just like a dead item, so I guess that was a bad item choice to pick up right there. Anyway, we're up against the Abomination comp, and we're kind of destroying this one. The scary thing, though, is this person has hit Iron 3-star, and that's bad news. The Daisy has 10,000 HP. If I had won that fight, I actually might have been able to eliminate that player, but that was a ghost round, unfortunately. So we're not able to eliminate that player, and this is actually pretty scary. I just realized here, 5 Abomination, 5 Revenant. So they have also gotten emblems, and their emblems have been a heck of a lot more useful than mine. So I actually sell Lucian to try to roll for 2-star action, and I guess we're not going to hit the 2-star action, are we? And then, unfortunately, this person hits 3-star Nunu, and I was like, this person has 3-star Nunu and 3-star Ivern. They have 5 Abomination and 5 Revenants. That's kind of scary. So they have a 3-star Nunu with Revenant spat, and they have a Cavalier, what is it, wow, can't talk. Sejuani with the Revenant spat, and they're all going to come back to life with 100% health. That's kind of scary, and you see exactly what happens. This comp just runs right over me, and it does exactly enough damage to kill me. I was like, oh, seriously? But yeah, so it's a second. And honestly, considering how low my health was in this game, a second is not a bad result, but I'm still kind of disappointed by that. It's one of the things I don't like about set 5.5. It feels like so much of the late game is determined by who gets the best emblems, and a lot of that is just randomness. I did not have a chance to get something as useful as double Revenant emblems and Abomination emblem. Just can't really compete with that. Oh, well, in any case, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you still enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope you're having a good week. See you guys again soon.